Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing? This is just going to be a kind of a quick off the cuff review. I just finished last night. I just finished watching Exorcist Believer, which I believe came out this year or last year. I forgot to look it up. Well, actually, no, I went to look it up at the tablet. Cat fight every freaking time. Ugh, probably tired of hearing this too. I'm tired of dealing with it. Jeez. I wish I had a bigger place I can just segregate them. This half of the house is for you, and this half of the house for you. And we'd have peace. But I doubt it. But anyway, yes. Off the cuff review of Exorcist Believer. First thing I am going to say, I actually did really like the movie. On IMDb, it was rated, I think, 4.8. And I didn't look up what it would be on Rotten Tomatoes. And if you're wondering what that is in the background, that's that. It is October, Halloween season. But yeah, so I watched the movie. It was actually really good. The special effects were good. The CGI that they used wasn't over the top and ridiculous. The characters, for the most part, were pretty good. The families were good. But instead of having like one child possessed, they had two from two different families and two different viewpoints in terms of their religion and faith or whatever. But yeah, it was a good movie. How the possession sort of started was a little bit interesting. It was sort of a new thing that I hadn't seen in other possession type movies. A lot of ums because I'm just doing this off the cuff. I didn't make notes like I usually do. I just kind of wanted to be spontaneous with this one. But yeah, I wouldn't rate it too high, but I wouldn't definitely not go as low as 4.8%. I would probably say I would give it about a 6.5, and I don't think that's being generous. It might have been a little bit higher. Now, here's a couple things I didn't like about it. First of all, I think as a possession movie, it could have been a little bit better as a standalone movie instead of trying to make it part of the Exorcist franchise, because The Exorcist is an amazing film, one of the 50 greatest films of all time, one of the greatest horror films of all time, if not the greatest horror film of all time. For most people, mine is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and followed up by Night of the Living Dead, but The Exorcist is definitely in my top 10. But I think it would have been better as a standalone film rather than piggybacking off The Exorcist series, and because, let's face it, the sequels of Exorcist are not good at all. Like The Heretic, it's a really odd, out of place movie, and then the other two that I know of, and I can't even think of the names right now, were one's like a Marin backstory, and it's not bad, but it's, I think that was just a cash grab, and I don't know even how much cash I grabbed with it. And then there was another one, I can't remember what it was called, but this film, it could have done really well. And what they also did, which kind of pulled me right out of the movie every time her scenes came on, having Ellen Burstyn, I can't remember how to say her name, but the mother from the original Exorcist, and she was only there, like her being in the film didn't really contribute much. She was just kind of there. They kind of gave her a scene, that character that sort of seemed pivotal, but it really wasn't. I think they were just added her into the film to sort of give it a little bit of cred. And there's nothing against her as an actress, and she was definitely legendary and iconic in the original Exorcist. So I'm not knocking her for being in it. It seemed out of place. It was kind of like in the most recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, the direct sequel after retconning everything from the first to the newest one, and then having that Sally Hardesty character coming back having that version of Sally Hardesty coming back in and as this vigilante Laurie Strode wannabe, and she was just in there for a few minutes of screen time, and it was pointless and kind of sucked. And same with this. Excuse me, I'll stuff here, but you just kind of swallow your saliva in a weird way. But anyway, yeah, and it's not that her acting was bad or anything. It just sort of seemed like just kind of shoehorned in there. Let's throw her in there, get some cred, and then now it has to be an Exorcist movie. And she talks about how Regan sort of disappeared. She hadn't heard from her since. And anyway, I'm not going to get into all the details of what happens to Ellen's character in the film or anything. And I'm calling her Ellen's character because I can't remember the character's name from the original Exorcist right here. One of my few Funko heads. But anyway, has talking about like how she missed Regan, or they hadn't seen each other in a long, like for years. She just kind of, because she wrote a book and Regan was pissed off about it and just disappeared. And then she became this weird expert on exorcism and tries to sort of do the exorcism herself, and it doesn't really pan out. And it just sort of stops the movie. You know, I mean, in my opinion, now maybe you've seen the film, you have a completely different opinion than I do, and that's fine. I would love to hear it, and maybe I missed something watching the film that maybe I should go back and watch it again and see. But it is worth watching it. It was actually, like I said, it was a good movie. The kids possessed, they were really good actors. I didn't look up the names or anything like that. Like I said, this is just quick off the cuff, quick review. But anyway, you know, she does explain one thing in the film that does make it a little bit interesting in terms of exorcisms overall. It's like you have in the Christian faith or the Catholic faith, you'll have like demons, and then the Catholic priest or whoever will come and expel those demons. And then in the Islamic faith, let's say, you'll have like a jinn, which is an Islamic demon, the name for a demon in Islam, instead of saying demon, say jinn. And then they'll have like the imam, which is like the Muslim priest, for those who didn't actually know that, and expel the demon. And you can cross that over as long as you're using the power of God to expel the devil or the evil. It doesn't matter which religion you're using, because you're using like God's power to take away the evil. So an imam can exorcise a demon from someone, say, who's a Catholic girl or Catholic person, and a Catholic priest could take a demon out of like a Muslim, let's say, expel a demon from a Muslim. It's all crossover because it's just good versus evil. She didn't word it that exact way, but that was sort of the premise that I got from it. So hold on. Sorry, Gunnar had Lemmy cornered, and being twice her size, I had to pull him apart and get her apart. Anyway, yeah, sorry. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so like as long as you're doing good versus evil, etc., etc., etc. But of course, at the end of the movie, there's, if you haven't seen the film, I'm not going to say exactly what happens to the kids. It's a little bit sad, and it's kind of like you don't really see it coming, and then when it happens, you're just kind of like, oh, that's not good. But also, it's the other side is kind of good. Like it's an interesting way that they ended the film, but then they shoehorned in this really stupid add-on ending that just, again, it just yanked me out of the film. It didn't add anything to the film. It didn't add anything to the conclusion of the film. It was just, oh, Exorcist stuff from the first film. And spoiler alert, I guess, sort of, I don't know. But the end of the movie, Linda Blair Regan, you know, as an adult now, like, comes back and sees her mom. Now, her eyes are bandaged. I'm not going to say why, but she had Regan's mom had bandages on her eyes. I'm not going to say why, how they got there. I'll let you watch the film and learn that. It's really actually a good scene, how that happened. But Regan comes in, and they have this quick little reunion that I think is about 5 seconds long. And I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, they're back together. No, it doesn't matter, because they don't talk about that enough for it to matter. And it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. And it's so fucking stupid. Like the whole tie-in to the original Exorcist just did not work for me. It just kind of almost made the movie weaker. I think it could have been better just if it was like its own standalone possession film, and took out the characters from the original film and all the little quotes here and there that they used to remind people that it is a sequel. And I think it would have been a much stronger film. It would have been a lot better, and you wouldn't even be thinking about The Exorcist the whole time. You know, like I wasn't, but I think they're trying to keep putting it in your head. Oh, by the way, this is a sequel of a movie that was made half a century ago. As great as that movie is, you don't have to make a sequel 50 years later. Just make another movie that has nothing to do with that. It's been done before. Um, Exorcism of Emily Rose, an excellent movie, has nothing to do with The Exorcist, but it's a possession film. And you don't, because it has exorcism in the title, I guess people compare the two a lot, but they're two very, very different films. But anyway, I definitely recommend seeing it. I do rate it about a 6.5 out of 10. Um, and it's one I would probably watch again. I just really hated the whole sequel idea, but I've already said that about 100 times in this movie. But if you've seen it before and you liked it, or even if you didn't like it and you have comments about it, maybe something I missed, maybe like I said, maybe I should go back and watch it again and pay a little bit more attention. But check it out. If you got a couple hours, it is worth the watch. And I guess if you want to subscribe, comment, I already said. You want to help me get up to 1,000 subscribers as well. That would also be really cool. I'd really appreciate it. And so yeah, it was a very off the cuff, very simple review. But yeah, I guess until the next one. And if you got suggestions for a horror movie I should be watching, maybe I haven't seen, maybe something, a B movie, something I can look up, find, and talk about that one too. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until the next one. Bye.